You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel.
Muddlarks Drama Group proudly presents Suddenly Autumn, a Prestin Mystery in 7 episodes. Episode 2. In last week's episode, as part of the ongoing investigation of the kidnapping of Shirley's cousin, Cora Bunkle, and the attempted blowing up of the SS Richard Montgomery, Inspector Lestrange visited Mrs. Hames, who was staying with her friend, Miss Jean Maple. He asked Mrs. Hames to describe the coat that the man she and her sister Martha saw leaving the fortune-teller's tent was wearing.
I suppose it looked a bit like a naval coat. Are you trying to suggest that John was involved?
No, of course not. We have witnesses who saw your husband in Edinburgh 2 days before your cousin was kidnapped, and the Admiralty have confirmed that the frigate he was in charge of set sail on schedule, with all hands, the day before Miss Bunkle was taken.
So he was taking part in manoeuvres with the American Navy.
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Hames. What did you say?
Oh, it's nothing, Inspector. I'm sorry. I can't tell you much more than you already know.
I appreciate that, Mrs. Hames, but we have to investigate all angles. As I'm sure you are aware, security is very strict. The Admiralty wouldn't give us any details, of course, but they did confirm that the joint exercise would be continuing for some months.
Yes, that's about all I know as well. That's why Preston and I are staying here with Jean. I'm sorry, Inspector, but it seems you've had a wasted journey if all you wanted to ask me about was a coat.
That's part of the reason I came here, yes. We are working on a theory that at least one of the gang was an officer with the Navy. You said the man from the paper was wearing the same style of coat as the man you saw coming out from the fortune-teller's tent. Think carefully.
I thought it was, but now I'm not so sure. The collar was different. Why do you want to know?
We've had a number of witnesses who have given us a description of the man. They all describe him as looking like a naval officer. We believe the person behind the plot to blow up the Richard Montgomery must have had some connection to the Navy, because the bomb disposal squad have confirmed the type of explosive used to rig the boat was naval issue and could not have been obtained by a civilian.
But unless it was stolen.
That's a possibility, yes, but the Navy have been able to account for all its explosives. Nothing has been issued without proper authorisation.
Inspector, do you think it's possible that Falferty might have had something to do with it? She could have bribed someone.
That's true enough. We still haven't been able to find any trace of her, unfortunately. She may very well have left England, perhaps even several months ago. We're not ruling her out of the investigation yet, but we have not had any sightings or robberies with her stamp on them. But our investigations have uncovered some possible leads which I'm afraid are very disturbing.
I wonder what Inspector Lestrange wanted to talk to Shirley about. I hope he's not trying to get her to solve one of his cases. She needs all the peace and quiet she can get at the moment. I think it's been 20 minutes. Come on, Preston. Let's take the tea into them before it goes cold.
You do understand what this means, Mrs. Hames?
Yes, Inspector.
The tea's made. Shall I bring it in?
Inspector?
Yes, that's fine. Come in, Miss Maple. Let me help you, Miss Maple.
Thank you, Inspector. I take it that this isn't a social visit, Inspector?
Not entirely, Miss Maple.
Any progress with finding out who kidnapped Cora and tried to blow up the Montgomery?
Unfortunately, no.
So why are you here?
MI5 have been monitoring a series of radio messages being transmitted from somewhere along the south coast. They haven't been able to pinpoint the source because each message is very short and in some sort of code. But they are fairly certain that the messages are being transmitted to a receiver somewhere in the north of Britain. Again, because of the transmissions are so short, they haven't pinpointed the exact location yet.
Should you be telling us this, Inspector?
Under normal circumstances, no. but the little we have managed to work out has got the Home Office bods rattled.
I don't see what any of this has got to do with Shirley, Inspector. And quite frankly, at the moment, I don't think it's right you should even be considering asking for her help.
But the inspector isn't asking for my help, Jean.
I should hope not, after all you've been through.
It's all right, Jean. Go ahead, Inspector.
Go ahead with what?
I'm sorry, Miss Maple, but I've come here to arrest Mrs. Hames.
What? Surely not. On what grounds?
Mrs. Hames, I am arresting you for the crime of treason against the state. You're not obliged to say anything, but what you do say will be taken down in writing and may be used against you. Do you understand?